Hello? Sorry about that. I had a little bit of technical issues on my end. I'm not sure why my mic was what, but this is the second match of the Muttski versus Crrool game. Muttski is picking up his crown while Crrool is heading up to the Astos fight. Muttski will need to pick up a fight on the way out, and I hope he knows that to get his mages to level 7. I don't think Astos might be enough to give him the level, but I'm not sure. Crrool turning in his crown to fight Astos. Oh, getting that bad luck of the white mage going down. You really don't want to see your mages go down in this fight just because you really want them to get that EXP. But thankfully it does seem, well, he's going to opt to not raise the white mage. He's just going to take it. And getting the crystal eye. While he is, and while he's heading his way, while Crrool is making his way back down to Helfheim, Muttski will be making his way up to Athos. Even though, as I said in the first, even though Crrool is in the lead, RNG can very well just halt Crrool's progress completely, and Muttski can jump right back into it. And Muttski getting death from Athos as well, but getting the much better RNG of having his warrior down. So he won't have to take another fight. This will most definitely get him to level 7 so he can buy Blizzara and Alfira in Elfheim for his Black Mage. Whereas Crrool does the White Mage route where he relies on items to do a lot of his various magic spells to down enemy groups. Muttski will be doing the Black Mage route where he will actually relying on the spells from the Black Mage. Crrool made is giving Victoria her crystal eye now. Why the PSP version? the reason with the PSP version is because unlike the other versions, the PSP version has an exclusive glitch which lets us make items, make equipment to somewhat. As you'll see here shortly, when Crrool comes back down to Elfheim, he'll be able to get thieves' ornaments onto all of his characters through the glitch. And the way we do that is we take the mithril hammer we get from a chest in Elfheim, set another character's cursor onto their helmet, armor, or accessory slot, and that with with us pressing the R button and the select button and the X button at the same time, we can then pull up the menu on for the weapons onto the armor slot. And because we're technically in the weapon slot, it's trying to pull up the armor slot's corresponding values, which the mental hammer just happens to go into the thieves' armor, which lets us equip that onto a helmet, armor, and accessory, giving us a lot of agility, letting us run away from a lot of battles we probably shouldn't be able to run away from easily, as well as a lot of attack power as well. As you can see, Crrool just running through it. Though the biggest thing about this glitch is that the person you're coming from has to be able to equip the item. So as you can see, the White Mage and the Warrior both can equip the Mithril Hammer, so we are able to put it onto all of our these on all of our warriors. You guys see later on in the run when we get to Crescent Lake, we're gonna get some more equipment. So we're not gonna be able to put anything on our warrior because no one's gonna be able to equip the item that we'll be using for that version of the glitch. So the warrior will be remaining in his current equipment. And Crrool getting through the Elfheim revisit and is going to be making his way back to Castle Crrool to pick up the nitro powder to turn in to the dwarves so that way he can get out and into the actual world, while Muttski is making his way back down to Elfheim and we'll be doing one more part of the glitch to get Sage's staves. So he'll be picking up one more item here. Now, I wouldn't call the PSP version very buggy. This is really the only. I think this is really not the only glitch in the PSP version. And Muttski picking up the bronze gloves as well. He'll be able to get Sage's stats with that onto his onto his White Mage and Black Mage. And Crrool making his way over to the Dwarven Cave while Muttski is behind, but is definitely not out. And making his way up to Castle Canary to pick up his nitro powder. You do grind only at one point for your black mage and white mage for spell to get to a certain level for spells, but beyond that, no, there is no grinding. And the grind's coming up here fairly shortly. We'll be making our way over to Melman. Well, I say shortly, we do gotta get through Lich and all that. But we will be making our way over to Melman and then into the Earth Cave after picking up one more quick piece of equipment for us to get the most powerful weapon in the game, the Barbarian Sword, which was added to this version of the game, if I'm not mistaken. For our light warriors, I do believe Crrool sets it to all four of his light warriors. And thankfully, in this version of the game, which the GBA added the AMVs, but the PSP lets us skip the AMVs, so we don't have to watch the river fall and all that. Or not the river, but the collapsing of the canal and all that. We can just mash A and skip right on past it. And Muttski and Crrool making his way down the Cavern of Earth to the estimated completion time at max is an hour and 40 minutes. The normal runtime is anywhere between 1 hour 30 to 140, depending on RNG and all that. And Crrool making his way down to the third floor and taking that safety save for the simple reason, whereas the first two floors of the Earth Cave, or Cavern of Earth, isn't dangerous, this one does have Pisco Demons again, as well as cockatrices which have Stone Touch, as well as the large gas white combo that can ambush you and have paralyzed touch, so you do run the chance of just getting paralocked completely. and losing all that time, and you just get nicked to death. And Muttski right behind him, heading into Cabinet of Earth as well. And Crrool getting to the Star Ruby before starting his way back out. Crrool running into that right gas ambush and slowly getting paralyzed, and is just going to set to run away with the try to run away with the thief, which does work, thankfully. No, we do. No, this is just how fast can you get to chaos. There is a runner. I do believe there is a category that does the optional dungeons. I'm not sure though. Though the optional dungeons do take extraordinarily longer. And Crrool making his way over to Sarda, while Muttski close behind, getting out and heading toward there as well. This is actually a very close race so far. Neither one of them getting really bad RNG yet, but that can most certainly change as the run goes. Muttski opting to just go ahead and kill the race. While Crrool is feeding the giant his priceless ruby lunch. Crrool getting the rod while Muttski heading out, having a little bit of trouble with the encounters, but making it through, so no resets at least yet. Hopefully none at all as we go through. And Crrool with the rod in hand is gonna be making his way back to the cabin of Earth to go past and get down to Lich. While Muttski is heading to Sarder now. Crrool getting back down to that third level of Earth Cave and making sure to make that safety stay to make sure and not get caught by those cockatrices. So unlike Muttski, since he's taking the more white mage route, we're just gonna see the white mage use items to offset for the black mage's lack of spells. He's gonna have to rely on that judgment staff and that very slow flare animation a lot more than Muttski will for this part of the game. So with seeing a lot of Pisco demons, Muttski really isn't getting that good of encounter luck either. Both getting hammered even with runnables, he is both still getting hammered with encounter after encounter. But that's just the nature of this game and why we call it Total Chaos. It's just you can get really good encounter luck or you can get just hammered back to back with encounters. Muttski now back in Cavern of Earth while Crrool's making his way through the fourth floor. Still getting chased down by those Pisco demons. And Muttski now on the third floor and just right behind Crrool as they both make their way down the lich. Crrool being the first, and he is going to make that safety save after he heals up a little bit because with the levels we are, even though we do have that overpowered equipment, one Blizzard from Lich and we're down. There's absolutely we do not have the HP to survive it, unfortunately. So we do take the safety save here just to make sure that we don't just lose everything to Lich. But Crrool gets him down before Lich even gets a chance to act. With Lich only since Lich only has 1200 HP. And let's see if Muttski gets the same luck. And he does with both those crits as 100% dead Lich. So thankfully, neither one of them having the Lazar reset, thankfully, even as we make our way back to the ship and down to Crescent Lake. The way that we're in the group stages right now, the way this works, we will be everyone in group stage does a game against everyone twice. So with this being the same game, then we just take the average of all those games and the win-loss ratio to select for brackets and all that, and going forward. Unless I'm just completely wrong on that. And both fairly well in sync as they make their way over to Crescent Lake. Muttski getting decent RNG, having that warrior get poisoned. You do want to kill off both the thief and the warrior before you get down to the Phantom Eye fight. And you'll be grinding up your White Wizard and Black Wizard, respectively, to level 17, either late 17 or to 18, so that way you can get them the spells they need. And Muttski going right on into giving everyone their black guards. And as I said, because the warrior is the only one able to equip the mithril axe, he will not be able to get the survival vest or the black garb equipment, unfortunately, as we have no way to get it over to him. And both are making their way over to their ship and over to Ice Cave. Whereas normally you would try and go to Maryland. Now we are going to hold off on that and do errands that you would normally have to do during the game instead. And because you have to get the airship anyway, and with the airship having the fastest overworld movement, this is just the optimal time to get it. Crrool getting that safety save along with Muttski. They're both in Ice Cavern now. Taking that safety save, we do have the cockatrices back. We do have specters, rights, and ghouls, which all three have paralyzed touch. As well as we also have mind flayers, which can ambush paralyzed with mind blast, and Dark Wizard, which can ambush into Faraga, which can wipe your group as well. And then you also have the rare encounter of the dungeon of white dragons down on the final floor, the final two floors that can appear and do ice storm and wipe you out as well. And both making their way over to the eye grind. Crrool taking a bit of a safety save just for whenever. Normally don't want just to make sure that nothing happens. That because he's not using the lust dagger, he can get that double Thundara. Muttski getting the Thundara, and he's going to be able to go run to the grind now. Both making sure to grab that Levistone, because if you do forget, you do have to come back around and get it and do the whole loop again to get it. And here, I'm sure that both races will be going for level 18 because by the time you beat Merilith, you do want to get to level 19. And Muttski's done with that run and going to be heading out of Ice Cavern now. And Crrool's getting up his warriors to head out as well. Oh, and that white dragon encounter, the one you really do not want to see because it can use Ice Storm. But thankfully, Muttski was able to get it down fairly quick. With Crrool getting one as well, they both got it, and thankfully they both survived. So it wasn't an ambush, so no problems whatsoever. Muttski getting ambushed by cockatrices. But gets away from it safely at least. And this is why you pick up those gold needles, so that way you can get out, get your warriors out of the stone state. But you're getting a little bit bad encounter luck on the way out of Ice Cave and through the rivers. While Crrool is setting up to head into getting his airship now. And Crrool is up in the air. He will be heading to the Citadel of Trials now. And with Crrool entering the Citadel Trials, Muttski is right on his tail, and in that same area at least, and is heading toward there now. Make Crrool making sure to talk to the little dwarf person right there. As if you don't, you will not be able to teleport up. You would have to walk back out and talk to him after that. It is a change that they made into the GBA version of the game, if I'm not mistaken, and carried over into here. And with the teleporters, always make sure you use the south teleporter, the southernmost teleporter in the room, and that will make sure you get through the Citadel Trials easily enough. And Muttski getting the unrunnable Minotaur zombie combo, the unrunnable Minotaur zombies, and Crrool getting ambushed by mind flayers and getting hit with that mind blast. Oh, it thankfully missed the white mage. So he is able to get out of there without too much trouble, but definitely something you really don't want to see. Muttski able to catch back up because of that mind flayer fight. Muttski getting ambushed by mummies. Something you really don't want to see, as you can see, they do have sleep touch, but not nearly as dangerous as the mind flayers that Crrool got hit with. So he was able to get on out of there fairly quick, at least. So far, a really close race between the two. Crrool being in the lead for the most of it, but Muttski is definitely still right behind him. And now that Crrool will be heading out and toward the Claudia Isles to get his class change, with Muttski right behind him. That rare basilisk encounter. Two of them now. Muttski having a little trouble with getting away from those sphinxes, but manages it and is getting toward his airship while Crrool is heading up to talk to Bahamut. And while Crrool is finishing up his class change, Muttski is heading on down and being ready to talk to Muhammad himself as Crrool high-fives him on the way out. And Crrool now heading down to Melbourne to pick up his Halara spell, and will be heading over and teleport. And then he will be heading to Elfheim, to go ahead and pick up the haste spell as well. And yes, make sure if you are enjoying the race, please make sure you follow both Crrool and Muttski. And having a little bit of route divergence, where Crrool's going to go ahead and head into the volcano, Mount Gold. Muttski's going to go ahead and wrap up his little few errands he has to do around here by getting the fairy bottle and the giant tonics from here. As well as probably going to go ahead and stop by Gaia and pick up the Oxyel as well. And before heading over to Merilith himself. And as you can see, for those that don't know, Crrool is stepping on all the lava tiles he can, and yes, it does deal you 1 point of damage for each time you step on that tile. But the trade-off is you do not get any sort of encounters during it. So, whereas yes, while you are on the regular tiles, you can get encounters, and as soon as you step onto them, your encounter rate nor your yes, they will converge once they reach on-rack. Yes, you are 100% correct, Forsyth. But as you can see, that Crrool didn't get that many encounters there because even as you're walking on there, it doesn't raise your encounter rate. And Crrool getting the incredibly rare fire elementals on Carrie's floor, well, Merilith's floor, right before the big bad fiend itself. And as Crrool makes his way through there and is on the Merilith fight, Muttski will be heading over to the volcano himself and will be starting his dive down into beating Merilith himself. And Crrool is heading out of the volcano while Muttski is, I do believe, 1 floor away from Carrie. Or Merilith, I don't know. Getting that unfortunate ambush. I don't remember the last time Muttski saved, though. As I don't think he saved before diving into volcano. Oh, Muttski's last save is back in Lich. And Muttski has indeed forfeited the race with that, unfortunately. Okay. I'm back now after a little bit of internet trouble. And Crrool now, with needing Lich and getting through the waterfall cave, is heading over toward the Melman area to translate the slab, or the Rosetta Stone here in this version. And with that, he is going to be heading over to the Lufinian Peninsula to get his chime and head over to Tiamat. Exactly, yes, very true. We are going to be coming up to the Sky Fortress here shortly, and with that, he will be able to possibly meet Wormek. And as far as what happened to Muttski, he unfortunately he got ambushed in the volcano at 1 HP, so on his way down to carry. Well, Merilith, not Gary. Crrool getting some decent encounter luck and is on his way back to the airship. And is heading into Barrage Tower now. And if you're going to get your blessed RNGs for Roamec, you need to go ahead and get them out now, as Crrool is getting up to and will be up there shortly. Also, please make sure if you enjoyed Muttski's race, as well as you're enjoying watching Crrool, make sure you give them both a follow, as well as follow the Speed Gaming channels, and thank them so very much for hosting this race, for letting us bring this tournament to y'all. And on that Bridge of Destiny, are we going to see that Womack? No Womack today, just right on to Tiamat. But, well, actually, we can still get a Womack. There's still 14 tiles that he has to cross after Tiamat to get to that exit. I want to say like 14, 12, 14, something in that category. Not many, but definitely a chance to see Womack afterward. Still. And Crrool now making his way down to the Chaos Shrine Revisited. And making that safety save, as there are a lot of unfavorable encounters here. And getting through Lich and on down to Merilith. I've been in trouble myself, unfortunately. So Crrool making his way down to Kraken now. And Kraken will go down just as easy as Merilith did. And Crrool down into the Chaos fight. Gonna be setting up for it all after getting through Tiamat and Kraken fairly easily. Having just a little bit of trouble with the White Mage equipment, but able to get it set up with the Golden Staff, and we'll be taking on Chaos shortly now. Black Mage is looking a little low on HP. Hopefully Chaos doesn't roll high. No, that was actually a low roll for Chaos on Blaze, so he should be good to go now. And not have to worry too much about Chaos killing off anybody. Unless he gets punch happy with the mages. And Crrool is now in hold X to win mode. Nothing, very little things can stop him from anything happening. Now at least. Time for Crrool, and there's time for Crrool at 1:33:52. Yes, GG to both runners. See if Crrool or Muttski wants to come in for an interview. and neither one want to come in for the interview, but which is fine. But no, good game to both runners, and so that pretty much wraps up the multi-race with Crrool winning both races. But that was until I go Muttski unfortunately having that really bad luck in ice capping and and Mount Gold and taking those whites, which was very unfortunate for him. But please make sure y'all follow the runners, Crrool and Muttski, if you enjoyed watching them. And make sure y'all also follow Speed Gaming. Thank them, and once again, and thank you so very much, Speed Gaming, for even allowing us to host this on their channels. Though I do believe that's going to be it for us. I don't think there's any more races today. I think the next race will be tomorrow night. Well, yes, the next. Well, no, yeah, the next race is right as of right now is tomorrow night between myself and Forsyth at 8 p.m. EST, 7 p.m. CST, or EDT, whichever one it is right now. But thank y'all so very much for coming out, watching the races. Happy that we could on the show for y'all, and hope y'all have a wonderful day.